What does adrenaline mean to me and what should it mean to others? My whole brand was based on the idea that when you hear me or you see me, I want your adrenaline to rush. When you are ready to give up, when you're ready to throw in the towel, that success is behind that door that you haven't opened.
Kia ora e te whānau, I'm Rata, and I'm so excited to be back on the podcast. And today I am with the incredible, the one and only Justin Adrenalin. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Wow, that was such a good intro.
Oh, I'm just like, I'm trying to keep up with your energy. You know, the energy that I've seen from you. I'm just like, man, you know.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Would you like? So I've had the joy of not only meeting Justin but also getting to see you perform at the one and only Voice of Aroha Gala. But can you tell us a bit about who you are?
So I'm Justin, aka Adrenalin. I go by the moniker South Africa's favorite Indian rapper. So if you Google that, I'll actually pop up. It's really cool. We tried it the other day. I've recently moved to Wellington. It's been an experience because, like, back home, you know, I was doing all these gigs and establishing a brand, and now I've come to a completely new territory where I get to introduce myself to you guys, and obviously the pleasure of introducing myself to you guys as well. So I make music, I do podcasting, I do gaming, I do streaming. If there's entertainment or media, I do emceeing. I am there.
You do everything.
Everything. If it's under entertainment, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll have some hand in it.
How did you get into this?
So when I was back in school, my parents were very strict, right? They always, the three career options I was given was doctor, lawyer, accountant. And I had such a passion for music, and nobody in my family from my immediate family, which is my parents and my younger brother, have a music inclination. So for them, this was all very strange. But through the years, you know, I just persevered and kept doing it, and I got better and better, where they started to come around and say, hey, well, maybe this is something we should look more seriously into, because there's just something dynamic about what I do. At first, it just started out as a hobby, something to do that all my friends were into, like a little phase, and over the years, some of them faded off, but I found myself being able to creatively let go. And so I just took that, developed that, and developed Adrenalin.
Can you tell us a little bit about your style and about what adrenaline means to you for those who haven't listened to your music so far?
Cool.
Yeah.
So I love that question, by the way. It's something that I think about all the time. What does adrenaline mean to me and what should it mean to others? My whole brand was based on the idea that when you hear me or you see me, I want your adrenaline to rush. I want to give you that feeling that pumps you up and makes you feel like anything is possible. Because if you see me do it, then you can do it too. My music is designed around that. There's no genre that I don't touch. It's the baseline, I would say, is hip hop, but we do Bollywood fusion, we do Aotearoa, we do pop, we do reggaeton. So it's a variety of music that I've incorporated into my style that makes people feel good. I can convey emotions of sadness, of happiness, of frustration, something just to make you feel like you're having a good time. All I want is to connect with just one listener, and then I've done my job as an artist.
That's gorgeous. And as someone who's experienced your music, I can definitely testify that I was certainly feeling adrenaline after your performance. It was amazing. I love also how that's a lot more than just a song. That's a whole purpose. You know, you've got not just you're not just a performer of this or that. It's a purpose, and I can see that kind of weaving through even into emceeing, into games, into other things of this kind of purpose. Why? Why do you want to give people that feeling so much?
I think so. Where I come from, I fall into a minority, and even more so with the type of art that I make. And I always constantly felt like I had to prove myself, and I felt that if I did something surface level, then the validity that I wanted from the industry as a whole, but also for myself when I looked in the mirror, wasn't going to be meaningful or sustainable because it's not purposeful. And so when I started creating art, I wanted my art to not only reflect who I was, but reflect who people were or what they were feeling. And so that's how I came about it.
That's really, really, really beautiful. And I feel like, get to some really deep questions of why create art, of all these kinds of things. And I imagine a lot of people can empathize with that in terms of especially like trying to rise above the odds, because it's certainly not easy being a musician in the world. Certainly not being easy being an artist, and especially being as successful as you have been. How did that journey happen too? Because you are, as you say, if you look up South Africa's favorite Indian rapper, you come up very, very, very quickly. How did that journey of success happen for you, and what did it kind of take?
Very very organically. I will say this. So my wife is sitting at the back, and I just want to thank her because when we had met initially, before we were even dating, I had just left another city I was living in to visit my parents back home in Johannesburg. So I was on leave from work. I was working a corporate, and COVID had happened. And our president then put everybody into lockdown. You weren't allowed to go out. You weren't allowed to go to the store. And so during COVID, I think that was the time for a lot of people to do introspection, to reflect on your life, because we were losing people, and a lot of people lost a lot of loved ones over that period of time. And it made me really think, well, I've given my life to this company, and I loved the company I was working for, but I've also let my dream sort of fall to the sideline. And this is like the perfect opportunity, because for months at a time we were at home, to take a chance on myself and gamble and move into the entertainment sector. And I spoke with my now wife, and I spoke with my mom, and I said, listen, I want to come back home, but I'm going to be starting from scratch. So this is what I want to do. If you guys support me, then I'll back myself as well. And I felt that if I could come out of a time where something like entertainment was just a dream and become successful over that period of time, that when the clubs and the parties and the festivals and events started opening up, that I would be able to capitalize on that. And by the grace of God, everything sort of falling into place. At first, it felt like I made the biggest mistake in my life. Guys, when I tell you, success only follows hardship. Like, when you are ready to give up, when you're ready to throw in the towel, that success is behind that door that you haven't opened. You've opened 100 doors, and door number 101, that's where success lies. And so finally we popped that open, and before we knew it, thanks to the world becoming so small now due to social media, it sort of was the catalyst to catapult me into semi-stardom.
Wow, what a story. I love those life lessons as well. It's really, really, really deep. Gosh, what was it like for you then to kind of process some of that and, achieve this level, and then begin thinking about the future? I'm just thinking about how you kind of from there wanted to come to New Zealand, of all the places in the world.
So again, we go back to that whole conversation I have with my mom and I have with my now wife, and few years later, the career is taking off. We're becoming quite popular in South Africa. Music is doing well. Entertainment is doing well. I'm like at a really good place where I feel like, okay, this is where I'm meant to be, and this is what I'm meant to be doing. And they say life has other plans, and my wife received an opportunity to come to New Zealand and work in New Zealand. And I thought back to when she took a gamble on me, when I was chasing my dream. It was only right that I return the favor and take a chance on her. And so we decided, cool, we're going to make the commitment and come abroad. And I saw it as an opportunity to also sort of diversify and expand who I was as an artist, and share Adrenalin with another part of the world. And I'm so grateful to Voice of Aroha, because you guys were the first step in taking that journey whilst being here.
I mean, I think it was our privilege and our pleasure to get to experience Adrenalin as well for the first time. It was amazing.
Thank you.
What a beautiful story as well. I love the reciprocity and kind of seeing the journey of giving this gift that you've already received, kind of from your wife as well. That's so beautiful. Gosh, wow, that's so cool. How's it been so far? I
miss home.
Yeah.
But in the sense that I miss my family and my friends. I've just been so busy working here that there's no time to miss anything else. I miss my mom. If she ever, like, she's probably gonna watch this podcast. Mom, I miss you. I wouldn't say I'm a mommy's boy, but I do love my mom. But yeah, I think being here has exposed us to a lot of different cultures, and it's so fun to experience people and how they are versus what you're familiar with, because it gives you such a steep learning curve and also allows you to improve the way you view certain things, because you see things from different perspectives versus the perspective that you've been used to your whole life.
What can you tell me more about that?
So I give you the best example, right? Here, I always say this, like, people here are super helpful, right? Are super helpful, but they don't expect anything. So people will help you, and then you'll never see them again, right? They'll be like, hi, oh, you've got a breakdown. Can I help? Boom, thank you. And they're gone. Now that's a big culture shock for me, right? Because back home, somebody will help you, and then this weekend they're at your house for lunch, and then before you know it, you're like super friends. So I had to realize that people here are friendly, but when you want to make friends, it's a different sort of ball game. And then also reaching out, because I think South Africans as a whole, we're just very loud, very friendly people. And where I feel like what I've experienced with people that live in Wellington, they're a little bit more reserved, and they're sometimes very excited by us, and sometimes they're very taken aback by us, depending on the situation. So just small cultural nuances that you learn to navigate and traverse. Nothing negative, just different.
You also occupy a very interesting space because you're, South Africa's favorite Indian rapper. So what does that kind of that culture mean to you, and kind of in your music and in your brand?
Great.
Yeah.
So again, I love that question, because I think that South Africa and our Indian community, specifically in South Africa, we're completely different from the rest of the world in terms of different types of Indian communities. And why I say this is because we traditionally have developed a subculture in South Africa. So what you're familiar with as the typical Indian accent that we're all, quite familiar with, is not the same in South Africa. It's been changed as per the geography, the food that we eat, the spices that we have. And so for me, taking that identity and adding it to the already vast amount of nuances again that we have amongst Indians globally is something that I wear with pride. Carrying my home on my back, but not just where I come from, rather who I am, the cultures and beliefs and values that I grew up with at home, and being able to incorporate that into my art and share it with everybody in hopes that at the very least they'll get to understand me or even appreciate it.
That's beautiful. What's next for you?
Well, I'm hoping to become New Zealand's favorite Indian rapper. But just taking it step by step. I think for me, I am putting my head down in the new year, getting back into the studio full time so we can get some really cool projects. I'm using this time now to learn what the music scene is like here, what people like to hear on the radio, trying to navigate a network so that next year the art that I put out can reflect where I come from, but also reflect where I am. And we can all celebrate and share and enjoy that diversity together. So that's my plan.
That's so exciting. Yeah. I love
Thank you.
as well, the strategy, the vision, and the, I guess, kind of cultural blend as well of, being South Africa's favorite Indian rapper, and then kind of merging with this new Aotearoa environment as well, of kind of, and letting all the influences that come to you as well. We'll see. Yeah. Do you have some favorite moments from your, I was going to say music career, but from your music, MCing, entertainment, games career?
So last year, back home, I think we did the biggest show that I've ever done. And it's called the Gas Motor Show. So it's a big car festival that happens really close to the sea in Durban. And we were invited to come and perform there. And I think we did 20,000 people. Wow. And that was insane. I mean, standing in front of this large group or body of people that are there to have a good time, and then having them reciprocate your energy at that large of a like scale really is something that even when I think back to it now is what I carry with me into every performance. I remember saying when I was at the gala that it doesn't matter whether I perform for one person or 100,000 people or 1 million people. Every single person that sees me perform will get the same experience. Whether you saw me for free, whether you saw me because you bought a ticket, whether you were in a large group, whether you were in a small group, whether it was just you alone. When I go out there, I give my everything to everybody who supports me because I know how valuable the viewers are, how valuable the consumers are, how valuable the fans are. Without them, technically, they're our boss. So without them, you know, where would we be as artists?
That's such an interesting perspective on music in general. Have you kind of felt that you've been given that gift from music in general in your life? It's very interesting the passion you have for the viewer, for the listener, for the person.
Oh yeah, 100%. I truly believe that art is meaningless unless it's made to be consumed, right? So people make art in the hope, I guess some people prefer to make art for themselves, but the general consensus is people make art to be shared, to be valued and to be meaningful in whatever respect to you. So you can hear or see a piece of art, hear a piece of art, experience a piece of art, and take away a totally different experience than somebody who's experiencing the exact same piece of art. And, you know, that's what's beautiful about it. No two people will hear the same song the same way and have the same feelings attached to it because they have different life experiences, they have different memories. No two people will see a piece of art and experience the same emotions because, again, they have different life experiences that they attach to that piece of art. So art is not what we make, but it's what you make it. We provide it to you and then you give it the meaning that it has.
I was thinking, that's such a beautiful perspective. I guess it's like that with a lot of things, thinking whether you're cooking a meal for a friend or even 100%. Kind of like this interview, it's something we're creating together of the combination of the person with the gift that they're receiving, or they're giving. And yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I love the kind of the deep philosophies that you've got about this, the purpose, the power, and clearly like the passion, you know, that you have this love for giving this gift to the world, and it really shines through in what you do.
I think that developed with time. I don't lie, when I was young, I just wanted to be a little bit famous and a little bit rich.
It sounds like you made that too.
And then as I got older, I was like, you know, at a certain point when people experience it and they value your contribution to the art society as a whole, and they let you know like, hey, I really enjoyed that or I experienced that, you start to realize that, okay, maybe it's not just a me thing. Maybe I don't just make this for myself. Maybe it's something that I really need to think about what it's supposed to mean. And whether it means just having a good time or means something really deep, like conveying a serious message, there's always something that someone will be taking away from it. And if people, like, I don't really enjoy my art. Now, this is sound weird, but if I make a song, so if we get to the studio and I make a song, like, I will say, okay, cool, the song is done. I'll put it out on social media, the DSPs, and perform it. And then when I get to a performance and I see people all around me enjoying it, that's when I start to value my art, because now you guys have attached a meaning to it, an identity, a feeling to it. So when I see you as Rata like vibing out to a song of mine, I'm like, okay, this is actually quite a cool song. But when I first make it, I'm always in two minds about how good the art is, and luckily I have, you know, a strong panel of like family that I can send the stuff to and be like, guys, I don't know about this one, and they sort of reassure me and be like, hey, you know, sometimes just don't overthink it. This is great, and I'm very fortunate.
That's such good advice for artists or just anyone kind of pushing themselves or making things there, that you know, what do they say, we're our own worst critics, but also that even you aren't like, oh, this is a jam, you know, and this is a bop, you know, when you first make something, but actually kind of getting the joy and seeing the meaning of it through the experience of being gifted. That's really, really, really cool. Yeah,
100%.
Gosh, and it also sounds like, I mean, it strikes me just like how humble you are, you know, for the fame you've gotten, everything like that.
Thank you so much.
So I was wondering how, I guess two things. How do you think that you've kind of kept this humility, and how have you had the strength and perseverance to keep going through the challenges that you've had?
I'm very stubborn. So I think that served me very well. But also, you go home and I'm not Adrenalin to my family, and I'm not Adrenalin to my people. They know me as Justin. And so I think that sort of kept my feet on the floor, because they're a constant reminder that I'm just like everybody else. I just enjoy making art. I'm just fortunate to be in a position where people enjoy the art that I make, So I think I always keep at the back of my mind that it's seasonal. It can be here today, but gone tomorrow. And while it's here, you have to appreciate it, but you also have to make every interaction valuable. And why I say that is there's that saying that says you shouldn't meet your heroes. And I never wanted to be an example of that saying. I always wanted somebody who meets me, at the very least, to go, okay, wow, that guy was actually quite genuine, beyond the art and beyond what their expectations are of me as an artist. When they meet the person, I want them to feel, even if it's a moment and I don't have the time to take a photo, or I don't have the time to have a full conversation, when they leave there knowing that, oh wow, that was such a genuine interaction, that when they go back home and they turn on that music and they tell people about, sort of like, hey, you know what, I met Adrenalin. He was just walking down Cuba Street this week, and I just had a quick chat with him, and he's actually quite a nice guy. Just having them see that beyond the art, there's a human being just like everybody else that has the same needs, wants, dreams, aspirations, fears. And I think that is something that maybe some people forget, but for me, it's something I hold near and dear to my heart, to remember I'm still me before I'm Adrenalin. Adrenalin is a product of me.
How much that do you take into, is that a dual purpose in your life? And have there been any times where you've been tempted to kind of to let that fall away or cave into the success or the fame?
Look, I have two personalities. So when I perform, I really remember what it's like. Like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. So I when I get on stage, I'm in the moment. There's no Justin. Justin does not exist. He's at the back of my mind, locked away. Adrenalin is there. If I'm at an event, it all depends on the surroundings. And then once it's done, once the engagement is done, once the art is been conveyed, then it's sort of like a reset and default to factory settings, and Justin is back. And I think because when I started it was so difficult, and I had to fight to prove I deserved my spot, that over time it became easier to be me, because when I was starting to try out, a lot of people didn't think that I would succeed, specifically because I fell in a minority, specifically because in the minority I felt that this was way out of the norm. I must have been the only person I knew until I hit my teenage years, and then I met one or two others doing the same thing. And now, I love the fact that if within my community, if somebody sees me and their child wants to do something like this, they've got a blueprint. They can be like, well, you know what, Adrenalin did it, so we know somebody that's done it. So it's not such a massive culture shock to a family member, like parents or siblings, when somebody says, listen, I think I want to go into entertainment, where I didn't have a blueprint. For my parents, I was the blueprint. They were like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And again, like I said, they were super supportive. My mom was super duper supportive once I was fully into it. In the beginning, she always tells me, she's like, I had my reservations, as a parent does, because you want the best for your children. But having her there and then finally coming around to supporting my dream, it means the world to me.
I love you talking as well about the kind of bold new things you've done and the kind of your music scene and everything like that. Do you have an idea of, or a feeling maybe, of what the future of music looks like for Aotearoa or just the world in general?
Very good question. You've got some really good questions today. I don't want to
you've got some great music. We've got to match each other.
But no, I think it's evolving all the time. I think it's very difficult to pinpoint a sound. And why I say that is, what's hot this year, next year necessarily might be completely different. What I've noticed while I've been here, though, is that the subtle influences from like reggaeton and like reggae, and that's, I'm like, oh my goodness, I could do something really cool here. I could add the little African flair and then take a bit of the elements that I experience from the people here and the culture here and the beautiful, like for me it's all about encapsulating a feeling. And if I had to say the type of music that more or less I would be aiming to make while I'm here, or to connect with the listeners from here, would be something that when you get in your car and you take a drive to the waterfront on the weekend and you put on the song, it encapsulates whatever you're feeling. When you're in the car with your family, when you're in the car with your friends, when you're on the bus, when you're on the train, when that song plays, I'm trying to capture the feeling that I get being in Wellington. I'm trying to put Cuba Street and the waterfront and Lower Hutt and Upper Hutt and, you know, kōrero and the parks and the engagement and the people into a song. Will I be successful? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of trial and error, but I guarantee that there will be something for everybody to enjoy.
I'm so excited. I feel like you've given so much good wisdom advice for young people and just artists in general, but if you have any specific things that come to mind, what would you say for someone who's maybe inspired by you or wants to launch into something big or new or exciting but is a bit afraid of taking that step, taking that gamble, as you say?
I think what I've learned over the years would be, don't give up on yourself. Sometimes you'll be the only person that believes in you, but you have to believe so much in yourself that other people start believing in you too, right? Where the belief is so overwhelming that anybody that has a little bit of doubt in their heart is won over by the fact that you are so, like, you have so much conviction when it comes to whatever you want to do, whatever you want to pursue. If you're going to do something and you want to, you know, be the best at it, for whatever your measurement of the best is, right? Then you have to double down, because it's not easy. And on those days, that's the real test of whether you want to be here or you don't. And that's when you're going to have to double up that belief, double up that confidence, and show people that, hey, this is the movement. And I may be the only one in this movement at this time, but there's space for all of you to join in. So yeah, that would be it.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you, Justin. We haven't prepared this, but I was wondering, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience in terms of like rapping wise or something like that? A little taste, or we can just say, you know, go check out Adrenalin. Yeah.
Let's see. Picture, baby is a modern Mona Lisa. Love her like she got it, and I'm a preacher. See, she my greatest hit and I'm a feature. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. Kawe lama kawe, you're my sweetheart. Nik funu shadow and I'm Mona Lisa. Nik funu nan. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
Woo! Takes me back. That is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Or I should say thank you, Adrenalin. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that. Shout out to you and the team. You guys have been amazing. And I watch some of the podcasts, and I really think the platform that you give to anybody in the community that's doing something meaningful is such a powerful thing. And I hope that you guys stay eternally blessed and you continue to grow and we continue to make more memories together.
Thank you so much, Justin. And I think the exact same thing, like in terms of you were doing such amazing things, and we were so blessed to have you, and you know, blessing our community and blessing our incredible event. So thank you so much.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
We have one more tradition at Voice of Aroha, which is we ask for questions from our previous guests.
Okay.
And so the previous guest will have written a question for you, and then you will get the chance to ask questions to the next guest. The question is, what do you believe is the most important thing in the world?
Community. I think community. I think without one another and developing those bonds, that life would be extremely difficult, tremendously difficult. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs a helping hand. And the ability to give that to one another can outweigh anything. As long as you have a good community around you, beside you, behind you, there's nothing that you can't achieve.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Justin. I can't wait to see more of your music. I can't wait to see you perform more. Thank you so much. And everyone go check out Adrenalin. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Ka kite.